Morocco or Japan? Morocco or Japan? What is the difference? Someone tell me please, man. Okay, let's get into the video. So for those of you who don't know, I spent a good 10 years living and working in Japan. And now I've been living in Morocco for about a year straight. So I've noticed some differences between the two countries that are quite intriguing, quite interesting. So I've noticed some differences between the two countries. And if you're interested in anime or anything related to Japan and life there, as well as life in Morocco, you want to listen to this vlog. By the way guys, I don't know if you can see the floor, but it's been raining and Morocco has had a drought for the last 6-7 years, and it's been raining quite heavily, not too heavily, but for the last week, which is amazing news. And apparently the whole of March is going to be raining. What a blessed thing, especially during Ramadan. So yep, expect the rain. So hopefully bye bye drought. Anyway, back to the point of today's video. So first of all, I want to mention about the culture / society. So Japan is a very reserved, polite society. So when you're, at the train station, everyone queues up. When you're, dealing with people like customer service, let's say, they're very polite, they bow, etc. So the politeness is there. On the other hand, Morocco is also polite, but not the same level of polite. Morocco is more warm, I would say, and hospitable. So they make you feel like you're part of the family rather than this formal politeness. In Japan, they'll make you feel like you're the king and they are your servants, kind of thing. Especially, when I bought my phone, when I bought the internet connection, I remember they came out of the shop after I left and they bowed and waited for me to walk away. And I thought that was, honestly, I don't like stuff like that. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Like I'm just buying an internet connection. I'm not God, relax. But that's the culture, and it's politeness, and people are homogenous, so they get along very well. Whereas in Morocco, they'll say something like, if you need anything, let me know. It's more of a relaxed, kind of warm, in my opinion, authentic hospitality. Something else quite vital, especially if you don't speak Arabic or Japanese, is the English level. So the English level in Japan is not bad in major cities. Most people will speak a little bit of English, not the older generation, although there are some. But if I compare it to Morocco, I would say the young Moroccans definitely, hands down, speak better English. I have some friends who are Moroccan, born and raised in Morocco, and their English is basically fluent. And we can have full-on conversations using expressions and idioms and, language maybe Japanese youth won't understand. It's a bit too complicated for them. So definitely, when it comes to English, I would say Morocco tops it. When you go to the rural areas of both Japan and Morocco, English is almost non-existent. So that's another thing to bear in mind, depending on where you want to move in Morocco or Japan. Now, this is a big one for a lot of people, the cost of living. Now, when I lived in Japan, the cost of living was pretty high, but still cheaper, I would say, compared to London. Let's take rent, for example. Rent in Tokyo, if you want a 2-bedroom apartment, it's not going to be less than 200,000 yen, which is about $2,000 a month. Whereas when you compare that to Rabat and you want to rent something, you can get it for $500, even less, right? Depending on the location, etc. But definitely Morocco is a cheaper place to live. Your money goes further. A big difference is fruits and vegetables. Oh my god, guys. In Japan, you can buy a watermelon for $20-30, and that's the cheapy ones, really, really cheap ones. Whereas in Morocco, you can buy a watermelon. I remember in Arish, you could buy it for something like 10 dirham, a full-on watermelon for $1. So cost of living, your money will definitely go further here, if you work remotely, that is. And a lot of you have been asking, how do you make money remotely? And what do I do? How do I do it? That will hopefully come on another video I'm planning. Maybe it will generate some ideas for you if you're currently not working remotely, and to help you make that move. Now guys, this is a big one, especially for the Japanese, and that is work culture. Okay, so I remember living in Japan. Work is life. Work is your religion. Work is your your purpose. So whatever you do, you become the best at it. You really nail down your craft, but at the same time, your other parts of your life suffer. So social life it's there, but it's also based around work, like people after work going drinking or going to the restaurants, etc. So that's one thing, but it does have a negative effect. But then also, whatever the Japanese do, they are the best at it. So for example, cars, they didn't invent cars, but they perfected them. The most reliable, amazing cars: Toyota, Nissan, Mitsubishi, blah blah blah. So that's the plus side, and it comes with the same thing with their food and everything. In Morocco, it's a bit different. So people are more relaxed here. They're more laid back when it comes to work. They do their job. But if I'm totally honest, the quality comparing, obviously everyone knows Japan's the best quality, right? But whenever there's a job done here, it's done half-assed. In my opinion, from what I've seen, I could be wrong. It's done lazily and it's done sloppily. That might be an attitude thing, a cultural thing, I don't know. But I guess it's natural. You can tell based on the output of the country, right? So Japan outputs a lot of production, but at the same time, Moroccans do have a more balanced life and a bit more of a, like, oh look, there's some dogs here. Wait guys, look. Oh, they're terrified. Look at this little puppy. Hello doggy. Right, relax. You're scaring me now. Oh my god. Don't. That guy. All right. That's it. I just want to say hello, guys. I don't want you to kill me. Oh crap! They're biting each other. All right, I'm walking away now. Right, I freaked myself out there, guys. All right, let's continue walking. Okay. So yeah, where was I? So yeah, if you like a more relaxed society, but you know quality will suffer, then Morocco is for you. If you prefer a more high-paced, kind of intense work, put your head down society, Japan is definitely better for you. I honestly think, you know, Japan could do with a bit more of Morocco, and Morocco could do a bit more with a bit more of Japan. And it's about getting that balance. I think extremities in anything, you know, it's not going to be good, whatever you do. This one is a very, very big one, especially if you're a foreigner coming to either Morocco or Japan, and that's renting. Now, I've had pretty bad experiences in Japan renting. This is just me being honest, yeah? I'm never going to sugarcoat. I'm never going to just make it sound like everywhere is a fairyland. No, I'm going to tell you the truth. If you don't like it, I'm sorry about that. But in Japan, if you're a foreigner, this is my experience and other foreigners' experiences, 9 times out of 10, they don't rent to foreigners, people. Now, some people say because they can't communicate with foreigners and they don't want that problem. Some people say it's racism. Some people say because foreigners don't look after the apartment properly. In my opinion, I think it's a bit stupid because, you know, money is money, and if you want to rent your apartment where there's a population shortage, then rent it. And it doesn't really make foreigners feel welcome, does it? Like, what? Like, I can't rent, I just want to rent a place, man. Relax. I'm not gonna, like, destroy your apartment. So that's something that really annoyed me. I found so many good apartments. They're like, are you foreigner? Nope, we're not doing it. Nope, we're not doing it. I'm like, to me, that's a form of racism or discrimination. I don't care what excuse you put behind it. It's not right. Just because I'm a foreigner, you don't know me, right? Not all foreigners are alike. So that's definitely a negative side when it comes to renting. You're going to struggle. On the other hand, Morocco is very welcoming and warm, remember? So it's as simple as, I found an apartment I like, here's the money, here's the deposit, enjoy your life. Now, you can see the difference. For me, I prefer that because a business transaction shouldn't be discriminated, you know. It doesn't matter who's buying it, as long as they're buying it and you have a contract in place. And that's the reason you have a deposit, right? Even if I mess up the apartment, even if I break something, you have a deposit to cover the costs and you have a contract in place. So that excuse in Japan, sorry Japan, I don't think so. But don't get me wrong, I still love Japan. I enjoyed my time. Most people are friendly. It's just landlords that are a bit of a hassle. And you will find the nice landlords who will rent to you, etc. But yeah, Morocco, you win in that case. Next up, I want to talk about religion. Okay, so Japan is Shinto/Buddhist. it's like a unique mix of the two religions slash ways of life. But honestly speaking, Japan is not religious at all. Most people don't know anything about religion. They don't know anything about Buddhism or Shintoism. They might go to the temple for New Year, just as a tradition. But if you ask most Japanese people, they don't really believe in God. Whereas if you dig deeper, I actually do believe in God. But they don't have the idea of God like this statue man. Kind of, they believe God is an energy or a power, a lot of them. Because logically speaking, everybody comes to the conclusion there's a creator, right? And all of this beautiful stuff didn't come from nothingness, did it? Anyhow, so religion doesn't influence life much. It influences culture more so. Like the idea of Shinto, everything should be new because it has a new energy, new spirit. So in Japan, they do, but it's very rare you'll find people buying second-hand houses. They rather knock down and rebuild. It's part of the culture. In Morocco, of course, people are Muslim. They follow Islam. Religion is an integral part of society here. It guides the values, the mannerisms, even the language, like Inshallah, Bismillah, Alhamdulillah. So even the non-religious Moroccans, you'll hear it in their lingo, like Inshallah or Subhanallah. Like this is just normal, right? So definitely, Morocco, you can see religion stands out. You hear the adhan 5 times a day. It's part of society. Now, when it comes to religion, another point to mention is also safety. So Japan, even though it's a non-religious society, more or less, it's highly cultural and it has a massive tradition which keeps it safe. So they still have the values intertwined with who they are in their DNA, right? So it's very, very safe, Japan. I never ever once look behind me like just to check. I mean, I do that naturally anyway, but what I mean is I never did it out of paranoia, like someone's following me or who's around that corner. You do get shady areas in Japan, yes you do, and I've been to them before, where you feel a bit unsafe. There's a red light district there where there's like the Yakuza and all these gangs and stuff like that. But generally they won't bother you. It's not like, in London or New York or wherever you guys might be. So Japan is super, super safe. When it comes to Morocco, it's also super safe. I never worry about anything. I can't really say which is safer because I've had good experiences in both. They've both been safe. But if you want me to guess, I would say Japan is probably safer. Why? Because economically they're more stable, so you're less likely to get scammed. So it's safer in that sense. That's the only. Violent crime is low in both countries, but when it comes to scams and stuff, Japan definitely wins. There's not many scams going around. The only scams being done are by like gangs, and they're usually like cyber crimes, like calling old people saying, "Oh, I'm your son, I need money because my car broke down, I need your help." And the poor old people don't know any better. So yeah. And the last thing, guys, I want to mention is cleanliness. Okay, so this is a big one for some of you. For some of you, you don't really care maybe. But in Japan, everything is super clean. The floor, the roads. And the funny thing is, there's not many bins. So when you go out, like outside downtown Tokyo, Saitama, wherever you may be, all the roads are clean, but there's no bins. And you think to yourself, how the heck is that possible? Because most people in other countries, they'll be like, oh, there's no bin. Well, let me just chuck on the floor. What can I do? In Japan, they literally, if they have a bottle of water or whatever and they've done with it, they either go to the convenience store to throw that garbage, rubbish, whatever you want to call it, away, or they take it home with them and throw it away at home. On the other hand, Morocco, I mean, I'm walking. I don't know if you guys can see. I'll show you. There's garbage everywhere. And this is not even like a busy area. This is just my local area. On the floor, there's pieces of garbage everywhere. Don't rubbish on the floor in Japan, but not like Morocco. In Morocco, there's whole like piles of rubbish just scattered around, and that's one big difference. Japan is better with organization, definitely. So in terms of cleanliness, throwing things away, garbage systems, even the way people act with garbage. I've seen in Morocco people just kind of throw stuff on the floor. That's something I think we can improve, obviously. By the way, guys, I am half Moroccan, so I can talk about what we need to improve in Morocco. So definitely like garbage and things, small things like that, that really small things, but raise up the country to become more prosperous, more beautiful and more attractive for tourism, for, you know, and basically just improving as people, right? Everyone can improve. In Japan, I would say they're on the other extreme. They like filter out every single thing for recycling. So like there's plastics, there's metals, there's different types of plastic, there's batteries, there's different days for stuff, which in my opinion is hyper organized, and it's not a bad thing. It's something, if we implement it here in Morocco, I think number one, we'd save so much money here in Morocco when it comes to plastics and recycling, and it will help increase the economy. And number two, it will clean up the streets. Number three, it will reduce littering, and that will have many domino effects, like bang, 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 bang. Like it's more beautiful, tourists enjoy it more. And the more tourists enjoy it, the more tourists come. So overall, if you choose Japan or Morocco, they're both amazing. But as a Muslim, I can definitely say you should choose Morocco. Now why? Because of the fact that it is a Muslim country, and it does have the good amenities that you'll find in Japan. And on top of that, everything is halal, and that's a big one for me. It felt almost wrong going into the supermarket and buying meat, you know, just from the butcher, or going to the restaurant not asking if it's halal or checking the signs. That almost felt strange to begin with. It's like, whoa, am I like normal now? I can actually just buy stuff. So that's another plus if you're a Muslim when it comes to Morocco. In Japan, you do find halal stuff. It was pretty easy. I mean, I ordered online, it got delivered to my house, but it's always frozen 9 times out of 10. Unless you go to Tokyo, there's like a mosque there, the Turkish mosque is called, what's it, Kami Masjid, and they have like fresh halal meat now, and that's quite a recent thing. But generally speaking, yeah, I mean, life in both countries is amazing, but nothing beats Morocco. And one more thing I want to mention before I go, guys, is the weather. So weather in Morocco is exquisite. You have warm, not cold winters. You have 4 seasons. They're not as distinct as Japan. So in Japan, you know when it's winter, it's cold, and you know when it's autumn. Everything is golden on the floor, the leaves and the foliage is falling down. When it's summer, you can't breathe. It's too hot. And when it's spring, you see the sakura on the cherry blossom tree. So it's very beautiful. Morocco has milder seasons. It's not as obvious, and it really depends on what part of Morocco you're in. Of course, if you're in the desert, every season seems the same, doesn't it? And there's been a drought recently, so that's messed up things up, but thank God it's raining. So guys, I hope you found this interesting, based on my experience, of course. It's all anecdotal. Everyone's experiences are different, but I would say generally I'm quite on point there because others have experienced similar things. So if you are interested in this type of content, it's still Ramadan, so I haven't had a chance to go out much and show you more of Morocco. But if you are interested, definitely subscribe, just in case you don't see my videos again. And about 90% of you who watch my videos are not subscribed. So go ahead, click that subscribe button, and I will see you on another one, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, guys.